Good morning. Hi, I'm Davina, and just like you, I am recovering from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse. Excuse me. And today I'd like to continue with keys to healing. Excuse me. And talk about the importance of connecting to your inner child. And I have so much I want to say. Whew. My inner child often speaks to me through dreams, and it's taken time to build that trust with her. And now she's sharing with me some of her sorry, her deepest, darkest feelings, because I now have, the capacity to handle these really, really difficult feelings of hopelessness and despair. And last night, just having a dream that I felt like an utter failure. Like just, I was in this classroom and we were all trying to take this test. And I didn't get the test. I didn't understand it. I'm like, what are these questions? How am I supposed to answer this? And everyone's finishing the test, and I couldn't get any of the questions done, and the time's almost up, and I just went, I give up, and here's my paper. And I was going to leave the room. And so yeah, I just was thinking about how my child must have felt as a little girl, feeling just like a total failure, like a failure at life, that she was fundamentally like defective and inadequate and not able to cope with the world and not able to handle things. And I'm like, this was a belief that I've had like all my life, that I was so defective. And I think a lot of highly sensitive people get this sense, and that's not because we are defective, it's because our parents failed us. My parents failed me, and it's really important to come out of the denial, because maybe your parents didn't beat you or hit you, or maybe they didn't even verbally abuse you, but it's really important to understand how detrimental it is just to be emotionally abused and emotionally neglected is humongously detrimental to your development. And that can lead to a failure to thrive. And that's not your fault. That is your parents. Your parents, or I'm going to say my parents, were useless in terms of like any kinds of, I had no guidance, I had no support, or very little, like very minimal. I wasn't taught any like life skills. I wasn't taught about my emotions. I was taught nothing about relationships, not even like how to cook or like how to manage money, like any of this stuff. But I think emotions are so key. If you don't understand your emotions, it's very difficult to I was and without a secure attachment with a parent, I'm realizing now like that is so like essential to a child, to have that like just sense, like that inner deep sense of security, that they're going to be taken care of, that they're supported. And they just have a sense of well-being and confidence and optimism in the world. And without that, I've really realized in this job transition that I'm going through, it's bringing up all this stuff, and it's so dark and scary. Like, I just feel like I'm literally like hanging on the end of my rope. It's really hard. Like, I know this is the key is to understand that this is the flashback. It's really key to understand that when you're having these kinds of emotions, And it can be scary when those dark emotions come up, like I want to give up, or, you know, I can't take this anymore, or any of those kind of like, yeah, kind of darker feelings. That is the flashback. That's what your child, that's what you went through as a child. Those are the feelings you had to suppress and repress to survive in your family. It's really important to understand that. And I thank my inner child right now. I thank my inner child for going through that, because it is a miracle that I am here today. It is literally a freaking miracle. I know that I have survived to this day. And yeah, so if you're here listening to this, it is a miracle that you are here. You are here because you are strong, you are resilient, and you are intelligent, and you are brilliant. You're brilliant. And you probably, yeah, also grew up thinking you were the defective one of the family. That's the scapegoat role, you know. It's really, it's a 180. It's a complete 180 when you wake up. It's like, oh, my family was a bunch of Neanderthals and I was the one that was put down. um you know, and yeah, yeah, they layer on the abuse. You know, they abuse you, they um invalidate you, and then on top of that, they'll shame you for being weak and saying, what, you can't handle this? Like, they'll abuse you, but then on top of that is there's just layers and layers of abuse and neglect so that they can feel better about themselves. That's all it was. And yet, you know, it affected you so much, so much. um and yeah, listening to your inner child is like, that is the key to healing. That is, you know, when I get those messages from her, and she's brave enough to tell me these things, I'm just so thankful. And it's still scary to me, but I just try to remember to come at it from like, okay, I'm in my adult body now. It's important to like ground and feel my feet, and then try to, you know, talk to myself like, okay, I'm the loving parent, and talk to my inner child. um and you know, to give her like, I love you. She wants so much love. Like, I think that's mostly what she wants, is just to be loved as she is. Like, I love you just as you are right now, you know, like, I don't want to change you, I don't want to fix you, I just love you just as you are, to be loved and accepted. And yeah, it's man, this is some kind of intense and really, I keep saying it, but it is so difficult. So I just, you know, I bow down to any of you out there that are doing this work, because it's extremely difficult, and so I think so so vital to our world right now. um yeah, that we have, I gotta get going to work here. um but I just wanted to speak up and say those things. I hope that some of these videos are helpful for you, and I'm always really open to hear any of your comments and feedback, so, or questions too. I'm wishing you many, many blessings in your day to day and in your journey. And I am Davina Shamaya at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.